Welcome. We are going to be canning strawberry pie filling today, and we are referencing a recipe from Ashley at creativecanning.com. You want to go ahead and prep your strawberries. Make sure you're washing them really well, even 2 or 3 different times. I'll do one round with baking soda, rinse those really well, and then do a second round with a little bit of vinegar, and then I'll go ahead and rinse it with just plain clean water. I do have a special guest in the kitchen with me today. This is my husband, Brandon. He's going to go ahead and give me a hand with cutting all these strawberries. We are processing about 10 pounds of strawberries right now, and it definitely goes a lot faster when there's 2 people. Go ahead and save the tops to your strawberries. I'm not going to record it today, but I am going to go ahead and put the strawberry tops into a mason jar and fill it to the top with a clear, unflavored rum, a good quality rum, and infuse it. And that's going to be really good for summertime mojitos. The original recipe yields 7 quarts of pie filling, and that is a lot of strawberries. So the specific website that I'm referencing, she has actually narrowed it down to what it would be for 1 quart. And I'm going to go ahead and multiply that times 4 because I specifically want 4 quarts. Now, if you read the description below, you're going to see these really weird measurements. So for me, it was easier to just go ahead and separate out each ingredient, put it in its own little bowl. So when I'm actually doing the recipe and everything's on the heat and I have to be really quick, I can just go ahead and dump everything in without having to search around for my measuring spoons, measuring cups, and ultimately may end up burning the recipe. So trust me, this is a good hack. The product I'm measuring out now is called clear gel. This is really important. This product is a cornstarch type product, but you can't use regular cornstarch. It is not safe to can, and it will make your product unstable on the shelf to where you could possibly get some bacteria. And anyway, it's just not safe to can. So make sure you're specifically using food grade clear gel. And on that note, we want to make sure we're using bottled lemon juice. The reason being, bottled lemon juice does have a specific pH that is guaranteed, and it's shelf stable longer in your fridge. But if you use just lemons, you can't guarantee what the pH level is going to be for each one of those lemons. So using bottled lemon juice just gives you a guarantee that it's going to be safe to can. I really love these dish bins that I got from the dollar store. They're giant and they really hold a lot of produce. For me, for this recipe, since I did multiply it by 4, I ended up needing 14 cups of cut strawberries once everything was said and done. So these are really nice to be able to have everything right on hand without using multiple bowls. You're going to go ahead and blanch your strawberries, so placing them one little batch at a time, usually 1 measuring cup full, into your boiling water. Wait 30 seconds, stir it around, and then using a slotted spoon, pull them out. This is just going to warm them and slightly cook them a little bit for your jam preparation. Again, you always, if you can, use a stainless steel bowl. If you use aluminum, like we talked about before in a previous video, it can give your jam or your filling, whatever you're doing, that tin can taste, and we want to try to avoid that. This is different from a usual recipe. Usually when you want your pot heated up, for this, no, the pot needs to be cold. So make sure it didn't just come right out of the dishwasher. We want it ice cold sitting on our stove. We're gonna mix the 2 ingredients together with our juice, and we are gonna whisk it till everything is fully dissolved. If you did have a hot pan or you set it on a hot burner, that clear gel may not dissolve correctly, and then it's gonna cause you issues down the road when your pie filling is trying to set up. You're gonna whisk this mixture until everything is boiling and thickens. You may think, oh my gosh, this is never gonna thicken. That is what I thought. And this is my face when I realized that it was. So my arms were killing me at this point. It was probably a good 5 minutes of serious whisking before things started to thicken. And when they did, I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. So my arms were burning. Do not decide to do this after you've taken an hour-long yoga class. Go ahead and add in your lemon juice. Keep stirring for 1 more minute, and then you're gonna take it off the heat. And while you're doing all of this, you may have noticed that your strawberries have started to release more juice and more water. So in this next step, you're going to gently fold in all of those blanched strawberries. You might have to strain them again, so that's exactly what I had to do. Save this juice, this strawberry juice. I saved it and I put it in 2 jars. It's basically a strawberry concentrate, so now you can use it in your mocktails or anything else. Put it in like a cake mix or something, whatever you want to use it for, but do not let it go to waste. So gently fold in your strawberries into this pie filling. You really do want to be gentle, because if you start mashing up your strawberries, they're not going to hold their form when they're in your pie, and it's just going to be mush. So be really careful. Going slow at this step is really important. It's not like a jam where everything's really thin and you can kind of just get away with leaving some bubbles in there. This pie filling is really thick, so if you trap too many bubbles in the bottom, they're going to try to escape while they're in the canning process, and it can actually pop the lids off, and all your pie filling is going to be in the pot and it's just going to be ruined. So make sure you're going really slow. You can even shake your jar side to side to kind of level out that pie filling before you put the next level in. You'll see in the next clip I am using my little flat plastic knife. I'm almost dragging the bubbles up. I can poke the bubble and then pull it up, and it's almost pulling it up out of the jar. So that was a little trick that I decided worked the best for this type. I had to clean the jars really well during this step because pie filling is messy, so I went around the jar a couple times with just a plain white washcloth, and then went ahead again around the rim with vinegar. I've mentioned before, at this step, go ahead and position your jars and your lids exactly where you want them. Make sure the label lines up correctly, because wherever you put them is where they're going to stay for now. As soon as your lids and rings are on, you want to put them into your hot canner. And remember, the time does not start until the canner is at a rolling boil. So I know it says process for 30 minutes. The time may even be up to 45 minutes once you're all said and done. So once you put them in, put the lid on the canner, crank the heat up. Once it's at a rolling boil, then start your 30-minute timer. Once time is up, letting your jars rest is super important. If you take the lid off and just start pulling your jars out, especially with pie filling, something called siphoning can happen. It's when you're going from a hot canner to the cold air outside. All of that pie filling can actually have such a rapid change in temperature that it comes up right through the top of your jar, and you're gonna lose half your filling, and it's gonna be a sticky, nasty mess. So go really slow. That's why you see me kind of holding them above the canner for a minute. I'm trying to make sure that no siphoning is happening before I put them down. And here we are, we have 4 quarts of strawberry pie filling. The point of this is, when you go ahead and decide to make any type of pie, you don't have to recook this. You just put this right into your pie crust. Thank you for watching. Leave any questions or comments below. I'd be happy to help out if you want to do this yourself.